technology tonight. Double microphones. Okay, this would be a good moment to remind you guys to silence your phones if you haven't done that already. And while you're doing that, I want to thank Bordino's and Angelina for the food. Louder?
Talking to his mom.
Okay. And the bartenders, don't forget to tip your bartenders. All right, so again, I want to welcome everyone and thank you for coming here. This is adult storytelling time. We are That's What She Said. And tonight's show is Horrible Bosses, Stories from the Workplace. This is our very first show of our second season. And if this is your first time with us, I'd like to say welcome. If you've been with us before, we want to thank you for your continued support, because without you, without the audience, we are just a group of friends that meets once a week in a room, and one by one we get up in front of each other and with our microphone and tell our stories to each other. And recently we were informed that passersby have mistaken us for an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and a sex addicts therapy session. I thought that one was pretty interesting. So thank you for buying tickets and showing up. This is vindication. This is why we're doing it. So we have 6 hilarious speakers for you tonight. But before I hand off the microphone to our first speaker, I have just a quick little story to tell about a rather colorful job I had in high school. So when I was 17, I got a job as a professional pooper scooper at an animal clinic here in Fayetteville. We'll call it Blanton Animal Clinic. My buddy James had worked there for several years, and he claimed he loved it. And so he secured me an interview, which I nailed, and I got the job. Tasks would include cleaning up any and all substances excreted by the cats and dogs who were being boarded in the concrete pillbox in the very back of the clinic. And that's about it. Occasionally I would attempt to hold a dog down while we gave it shots, but basically my job was dog janitor. Since I already had James on the inside, I was given a heads up on all the employees. Don't try to flirt with the girls at the front counter because they are uninterested and completely disgusted by us. Young Dr. Blanton is super cool, but his old pops, old man Blanton, is to be avoided if possible. He's mean, he's cranky, and frankly, I have no idea what drove him to become a vet, because animals don't seem to bring him any joy whatsoever. It's like, all right, buddy, thanks, I got it. Noted. So for the first few months, if I had a question for one of the vets, I stuck to young Dr. B. But one evening, young Dr. B was out, and it was just myself and old man Blanton. And I was ready to go home for the night, but before I could leave, I had to have one of the vets peruse the kennels to make sure everything was satisfactory. And so tonight, it was old man Blanton doing the walkthrough. Now, everything for the most part was satisfactory, except for a leash that was lying on the ground in one of the dog runs. Because earlier in the day, an enormous pit bull had been admitted for rabies watch. He had bitten a human. So we were observing the dog for 48 hours to determine if the victim was going to get lockjaw. And when I went to move this beast from his dirty pen to a clean pen, at the very last second, he jumped up and bit the leash out of my hand. But he was secure in his clean pen. And I'm like, all right, we're okay. I'm okay, you're okay. The leash is just loosely, lassoed around your neck. It'll slip right off. You just hang out there and be cool. And the leash eventually did slide off, but I wasn't about to go in there. And I was like, all right, we'll see if the old man notices. Of course he's going to notice. So I summon old Dr. Blanton for a walkthrough, and he assumes the role of a German soldier inspecting a barracks. Hands behind his back, slowly goose-stepping, toe to heel, eyeballing every last detail with me right behind. Pedal, Harry. Continue walking down the dog run. More water in that kennel, Harry. More kibble, Harry. And then he spots the leash. He's astonished that I would be so lax in my duties. He spins around to face me, points to the pit bull. Leash, Harry. And then I hesitate. In fact, I don't move at all. I just slowly look at the dog, and then back to Dr. B. What, are you afraid, Harry? Okay, no, old man, I'm not afraid. Nothing's gonna happen. Just calmly open the gate, don't look the dog in the eye, prove your salt with the old man, and then you can go home. So I unlatch the gate, take one step into the dog room, run, and the pit bull lunges right at me. And I used the gate as a kind of shield, but the force was too great. I'm on my ass and elbows, and the gate is now wide open. The old man destroys me with a scowl of complete disappointment. Took the time to do it, and then goes into action. And he walks right up to the dog, grabs it by the neck, and picks it up off the ground, holding it in midair, and looks back at me. Get the fucking leash, Harry. And I dash in, grab the leash, and he drops the dog, calmly exits the dog run, spins on his heel, and begins his click-clack towards the exit. You can go home now, Harry. Which I did, emasculated and in shame. Thank you.